September 1944. Eastern France. American forces had encircled a German garrison entrenched inside a centuries-old fortress. Massive stone walls. Elevated ground. Artillery emplacements. Machine gun nests covering every possible approach. Inside the fortress were roughly 1,500 German soldiers under the command of a major who had made his position clear. He would never surrender to the Americans. General Patton sent an officer forward under a white flag with a straightforward offer. Surrender immediately. Spare unnecessary loss of life. Your men will be treated as prisoners of war under the Geneva Convention. The German major's reply was dramatic and absolute. Tell General Patton that if he wants this fortress, he'll have to kill me to take it. It was meant to sound noble, defiant. The kind of declaration meant to inspire loyalty and intimidate the enemy. Patton's answer was just 4 words. I can arrange that. What followed was not a long siege. It wasn't a grinding battle of attrition. It was a calculated, methodical destruction that lasted less than 12 hours, and proved that Patton took people exactly at their word. If you want to see what happens when you challenge Patton to do what he already intended to do anyway, hit subscribe now. The German position was no improvised strongpoint. It was a real fortress, one of many built by the French centuries earlier, still dominating the countryside. Thick stone walls. Limited access routes. Natural defensive advantages. Underground chambers designed to withstand bombardment. A well that ensured water supply. The garrison included around 1,500 troops, regular infantry, artillery crews, and scattered officers from retreating units who had fallen back into the fortress as American forces advanced. On paper, it was a formidable position. A frontal assault would be costly. A traditional siege could take weeks. The obvious alternative would have been to bypass it and leave a screening force behind. But the fortress sat astride a key road junction. Leaving it intact meant American supply convoys would have to detour for miles. It was an obstacle that couldn't be ignored. Patton's approach was consistent. Offer surrender first, not out of sentimentality, but efficiency. A surrendered enemy costs no American lives and no time. A fight costs both. So he made the offer. Standard terms. Surrender now. Be treated humanely. Go to a POW camp. Live. The German major didn't just refuse. He personalized it. He invoked honor, duty, and an oath never to surrender. And he issued a direct challenge. If you want this fortress, you'll have to kill me. Many commanders might have seen that as an opening for negotiation. Maybe soften the terms. Maybe appeal to reason. Maybe try to save face for the man inside. Patton saw something else entirely. The major had clearly stated his condition. Death before surrender. Patton decided to grant that request, efficiently and overwhelmingly. When the messenger returned with the response, Patton's staff expected anger or irritation. Instead, he was calm, almost detached. According to officers present, he simply said, "The major says we'll have to kill him. Let's not disappoint him." Then the orders began. First, complete encirclement. Not just blocking roads, total isolation. No reinforcements. No resupply. No escape. Second, every heavy artillery piece within range was ordered to register precise targets on the fortress. Not random shelling. Systematic destruction. Stone walls might resist small arms, but they would not withstand repeated 155mm hits. Third, air support. Not area bombing. Precision strikes. Tank-busting aircraft targeting command posts, artillery positions, and ammunition stores. Finally, psychological warfare. Patton ordered loudspeakers brought forward. The Germans inside would not just be threatened. They would be informed. A schedule. Artillery at this hour. Air strikes at this hour. Ground assault to follow. Plenty of time to think. Plenty of time to realize their commander's heroic stand was about to get them killed. Patton also made something clear to his own officers. This would not be cautious or drawn out. The major wanted a fight. He would get one, but fast, overwhelming, and final. The message to the troops was simple. Surrender had been offered. It was refused. What followed was the enemy's choice. The assault began at dawn, not for tradition, but because Patton wanted the defenders to spend the entire night knowing what was coming. At first light, the artillery opened exactly on schedule. This wasn't blind fire. Guns concentrated on specific wall sections, hammering the same points again and again until breaches appeared. German artillery tried to respond, but American counter-battery fire was immediate. Any German gun that fired was quickly destroyed. After 2 hours, the airstrikes began. P-47 Thunderbolts dropped 500-pound bombs on pre-selected targets. The command post took multiple direct hits. Ammunition stores exploded. The main gate was blown apart. Throughout it all, the loudspeakers continued. Calm voices describing what had already happened. Announcing what would come next. Offering one final chance to surrender. Some Germans accepted. First a handful. Then dozens. They emerged from shattered walls with hands raised, choosing survival over obedience. The major tried to stop it. Soldiers attempting to surrender were shot as traitors. That only accelerated the collapse. The men realized they were trapped between American firepower and their own commander's fanaticism. By mid-morning, the fortress was ruined. Breached walls. Destroyed artillery. Command structure shattered. Then the infantry moved in, through every breach at once. Sherman tanks fired point-blank into openings. Flamethrowers cleared bunkers. Engineers demolished remaining strongpoints. But the fighting wasn't chaotic. It was controlled. Almost mechanical. There was little left to resist. Small groups fought briefly. Then surrendered. The threats of execution meant nothing once command had collapsed. The major was found in the remains of his bunker, barricaded with a few loyal men. When American troops broke in, he raised his pistol. An American sergeant shot him. No speech. No ceremony. Just the end. The major had said Patton would have to kill him. That condition was met. The remaining defenders surrendered immediately. From the first shell to the final surrender. The operation lasted less than 12 hours. American casualties were minimal, only a few wounded. German losses were heavy. The major was dead. Roughly 200 soldiers killed. Hundreds wounded. Around 1,000 captured. Afterward, intelligence officers found evidence of just how fragile morale had been even before the assault. Notes questioning the decision to fight. Records of executions. Signs of a garrison already breaking. The major believed defiance would inspire loyalty. Instead, it trapped his men in a hopeless position. Patton toured the fortress the next day. There was no triumph. No gloating. Just facts. He also visited wounded German prisoners, ensuring they received proper medical care alongside American casualties. That was Patton's philosophy. Absolute violence in combat. Absolute professionalism afterward. Word of the fortress spread quickly. To American troops, it confirmed what they already knew. Patton always offered surrender. But once refused, he followed through. To German commanders, the lesson was chilling. This wasn't brutality. It was predictability. If Patton offered surrender, it was wise to accept. Because refusal meant he would do exactly what he said he would do, no more, no less, with ruthless efficiency. Some German officers later admitted they surrendered specifically because they'd heard about the fortress. Patton's words were not threats. They were statements of fact. The German major wanted a heroic last stand. What he got was a 12-hour demolition that changed nothing except the number of dead. Heroic defiance sounds powerful. Against overwhelming force, it only increases casualties. The major said, "You'll have to kill me." Patton did. And every commander who heard the story learned to choose their words carefully. Because with Patton, defiance wasn't deterrence. It was permission. What do you think? Should Patton have tried harder to avoid killing the major, or did the responsibility lie entirely with the man who chose death for himself and his men? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more stories about leadership, responsibility, and consequences, subscribe now.